At this moment, the temperature reached 100 million trillion degrees.
All right. Okay. Hello, and welcome to what I'm confident will be some terrible horse shit. We'll just settle for this as the intro. How about that? That's fine. So, I've had a problem scrolling through YouTube recently. You may have noticed it as well. It's a pretty big problem. Just not enough 20-something white dudes talking to cameras on this website. I'm just drowning in diverse content. So here I am. I'm talking on YouTube. I ask myself the question, what can I provide? You know, what does the platform lack what are some holes that I could fill? You know, here, how can I make my home on YouTube? You know, I'm not smart enough to talk about politics, not qualified enough to educate anyone on anything except Beyblade lore. I could do that, but I'm sure there's already content like that out there. I don't have the patience to animate anything, and I can't throw a football because my dad just didn't raise me that way. My body isn't particularly pretty enough to sell pictures of. So, what am I actually qualified to talk about? I guess I came to the decision, or I guess more of the realization that my content doesn't have to be important. God knows that most of the content on YouTube falls under the umbrella of unimportant. But I just want to make something that kind of helps me organize my thoughts. I'm very disorganized. I was diagnosed with poo brain at the fertile age of 10.
Oh my god, he's an idiot.
But I have opinions that I'm constantly losing track of, and I just really want to have a place where I can compile all of my opinions and my strong feelings into a single place, where I can look back at them and not just have to actively remember them all the time. And when people say, hey, how do you feel about this? I can just link them, then not have to talk any further, explain anything else, and not have to remember how I feel about everything all the time. And hopefully, you know, maybe you can get something from it too, be it a momentary escape from the cold dungeon of reality, or just like a strong movie or music recommendation. I can provide those. For my first official YouTube video, I want to talk about something that has affected my life more than any of my cousins have, either individually or combined. And that's YouTube itself. YouTube is a website on youtube.com at the internet. It's a website where everyone in the whole world can upload everything that they think and do all the time. And it is a massive cesspool of self-idolizing children who want to make money doing nothing. It's the ultimate dream job, bitch. Naturally, I have spent a massive chunk of my life on this website. And not shockingly, so does everyone else in the entire world. It's a place for communities to gather and share with each other. It's a place where anyone, anywhere, can really have a voice. Even racists, and child grooming rapists, and abusive parents, and people who think that Mars is not a real place. It's also mostly a lot of great people just trying to make their mark on the world. Mostly. There is so much content on YouTube. It's practically unlimited. You could never ever watch all of it. They could cut it off right now. They could cut it off today and say, we're at capacity, no more new YouTube videos, and everyone in the world would still have an infinite amount of content to consume until the day that they die. But the people, it's not enough. They hunger every day for more schlop. Ooh! A YouTuber is reviewing a movie that I watched when I was 10 and I didn't like it, and he talks about it for an hour? Yeah, I'll watch that twice at 4 in the morning. Who needs sleep? I need to know what this stranger thinks about the movie Shark Tale. I sold my autonomy to YouTube when I was like 7 because fuck it, bro. Llamas with hats was fucking hilarious. I'm addicted to this website. I actually am. Like, I don't really know if that's a joke. If I'm at home, if I'm at home and no one is talking to me, I am probably watching a YouTube video. I can't poop without it. I won't poop without it. I can't make a bowl of cereal. I can't, wait for my toast to toast without popping up a tutorial on how to get the world record on Peach Break the Targets. I certainly can't lay in bed and just think about the things I have to do in the immediate future. No. I have to watch 7 different people play Magic the Gathering or maybe Sonic CD before I can stop to just think about something for a minute. Oh no. It is bad. It's bad. This website is legitimately dangerous for people with any amount of difficulty focusing. Because you can't just watch one video, alright? You can't just pull up YouTube, click one video and be like, that was a good video, but I should really call my grandma. No, the recommendations section is straight up predatory. Next thing you know, it's 6 hours later. You've watched an entire playthrough of Pokemon Snap. You know a lot more about the Justice League movie's rocky production and the failure that was the PlayStation Vita, and also a Nazi almost convinced you that racism doesn't exist anymore. Your brain feels like it's bleeding. You haven't eaten in 20 hours, and you're supposed to wake up for class in 45 minutes. I might be projecting a little bit here. That might be more of a problem with me than a problem with YouTube, and I'm strong enough to admit that. But I know I'm not the only one, okay? Don't make me feel like I am. Please. YouTube has changed a lot since the days when Ray William Johnson seemed untouchable. Practically nothing about the platform is recognizable from its original form beyond a handful of old school creators still lingering. Whole generations of YouTube have come and gone, each with a different mission, a different aesthetic, a different sense of humor. And as someone born between 1995 and 2000, I have been able to experience all of the generations of YouTube thus far. There was the first wave, the OGs, the chocolate rains, what have you, and the cute videos of babies laughing or babies crying maybe. And then there was a phase of time where everybody had a secondary gaming channel. That's back when there was Tobuscus and SourceFed still around. Then came the rise of drama channels and reaction channels. About 6 years ago, 5 years ago, soon enough you didn't need to even make anything anymore to be a top tier tuber. You could just talk about other YouTubers on YouTube and get views on YouTube. You can now literally watch YouTube on YouTube and get millions of hits. You only need a camera and a fucking mouth to get people to watch your videos. Because there are more people than ever willing to listen to you. YouTube gets this many new accounts on any given day. And yeah, sure, I'm sure a good chunk of those are bots or repeat accounts or whatever, but still, a lot of them are just new people making YouTube accounts. And now there are thousands of channels making sustainable, not more than sustainable livings, just making YouTube videos. And now, here we are today. And where exactly are we? Well, commentary channels are still getting their views. Gaming channels are still thriving, but they aren't the top of the heap anymore. But for the generation that made Fred famous, we mostly use the website for podcasts, music, clips from movies and TV shows. Some of us watch the Philip DeFranco show every now and then. Can't believe he's still kicking it. Yeah, I can't speak for everyone. Everybody has a different subscription box. Everybody has different tastes. And YouTube, in the form it takes today, really can do anything you want it to. It's a website where you can find practically anything you want. It can be used for education, the opposite of education. There's TV quality content posted every single day on this website, and it comes from people who might otherwise not have had a voice at all. It can be very therapeutic for a lot of people. It can be a place where you get invested in a new community, a new hobby. It can absolutely guarantee that you never ever have another moment of silence in your entire life. God bless. But I guess my question is YouTube better for it? If you ask my generation of people, they'd probably say no, despite all of us watching more YouTube than ever. There's a lot of toxicity, no fact-checking system at all, and for some reason people take having a YouTube channel as a point of authority on things like the realness of climate change or the shape of the planet. There's a lot of young men like me being funneled towards dangerous ways of thinking that are for the first time feeling as though they are truly awake, even though they're not awake. They're big dummies. There's a bunch of people on this website who are just losing their fucking minds, and YouTube is letting them. And they don't seem to really care, because they get their views either way. No matter who's making the content, YouTube profits off of it. They don't support hate speech and stuff. There's community guidelines. But people are still managing to tiptoe their way around that, and it hasn't really been addressed. A lot of people who probably otherwise wouldn't have been radicalized are, and it's thanks to YouTube and the way that YouTube works. I really can't believe that Amazon and Facebook are forced to testify in front of Congress, but when it comes to YouTube, people don't really bat an eye. People really trust the things that they find on YouTube. And I think a lot of the misinformation that people are really worried about in this day and age comes from this website, and they don't really get a lot of flack for it. They certainly don't get asked to fight it in the same way that Facebook does. And frankly, I think that they should. YouTube is radicalizing an entire generation. Whatever you think is good or bad, there's people shooting just to the far ends of the spectrum, and no one is really saying anything about it. The only people really keeping YouTubers in check are other YouTubers, which is dangerous because it makes things that aren't two-sided issues seem like they are. If there's just one YouTuber saying that something is true and another YouTuber saying, no, that's obviously false, then it seems like a two-sided issue when it isn't. Well, maybe one guy uploads a video titled, "Helicopters are flown by magic, parentheses, proof," parentheses, helicopters debunked. Then another YouTuber on another channel is forced to upload a video called Helicopters Aren't Magic, ... And here's why. The net result is a bunch of people see both videos, a bunch of people who wouldn't have ever been introduced to the idea that maybe helicopters are flown by magic suddenly are by both of the videos. And the net result is a few people are actually convinced that helicopters are flown by magic. The well of truth becomes just a little bit more poisonous, and YouTube makes money off of all of it. It's kind of a vicious cycle, and I'm personally really burnt out on seeing it. Just videos in my recommended, just going back and forth again, people arguing over what they decide is important that week. Not to trivialize every single issue discussed on YouTube. There's a lot of essential, important issues discussed on YouTube every single day. Many of them are things that most people should actively think about. Important modern issues that genuinely affect you and your fellow human beings. But many of the discussions you find on YouTube are really shallow, meaningless, vapid, redundant. There's a lot of unimportant discussions hovering on the outside of important topics, and it just kind of fogs the view when you're looking for the truth. YouTube profits off of lies. They profit a lot off of a lot of lies. I'm not trying to call people out on this video. I'm not trying to call out people who watch YouTube or its videos. I'm not trying to call out people who enjoy that stuff. You do you. I'm no better than you. Seriously. But just try to be aware of when your time is being wasted. Try to be thoughtful with the time that you spend on YouTube. And as users of this website, we should really demand more from the single most trafficked website on the entire internet, because it's just allowing a lot of its viewers to be misled, and it's profiting off of that. And do I have a perfect solution to this? Fucking no. It's not my job to figure that out. I'm just thinking out loud here. I want this to be a place where I can ask questions that I don't know the answer to. Because I think that censorship on this website is a pretty slippery slope, and that is reasonable for people to be wary of. That's why I think the censorship more so has to come from the viewers than from the website. But still, it's really not that unreasonable to ask for a lot more transparency and better oversight from the biggest website on the internet. Just saying. All of that shit said, there is still nothing like YouTube. Nothing like it. YouTube is a truly magical place where a lot of talented people make their home. Animators, filmmakers, there's comedians, thousands and thousands of people who are only successful and able to do the things that they love because of YouTube and the way that it is. It's the website with the most eyeballs on the internet, and it's the best way for a lot of people to get seen. For better or for much, much worse, YouTube is the best place on the internet to put your ideas if you want people to hear them. I think it's truly wonderful, completely irreplaceable, and important to preserve. And it hurts me when I see people take advantage of it, because without it, we might not have what I consider to be genuinely genius minds. Thousands of hilarious, talented people, and I love it. In conclusion, this website is really important to me. My life would just straight up be way fucking different if it wasn't for YouTube. Would it be better? Maybe. Almost certainly. But I don't know. It's consumed a portion of my existence that I cannot neglect. And I really wanted to take the opportunity to kind of assemble my thoughts about it into one place. And thankfully, it's the perfect platform to do that on. I don't currently have any plans to stop watching YouTube videos every single day. And perhaps I will for the rest of my life. That would be interesting.